I'm going to talk very briefly about converting or about new opportunities for agriculture, and particularly for creating new products in new markets. So one of the things I want to sort of say first off is that we have to sort of really celebrate in Australia the fact that actually our agricultural productivity is very high. We are a developed country. We're a technologically advanced agricultural industry. We've got good access to Asia. We're known for our food safety, environmental standards. And that good record of innovation that we've had over many years has driven our productivity of our agricultural industries to really be globally leading. So we're very effective at what we do in agriculture. But unfortunately, due to really things mostly beyond our control in agriculture, rising input costs, climate impacts, pests and disease, our over-reliance on bulk commodity export markets, the fact that over time there's now a shift to the value creation being post-farm gate, not actually being created on the farm. The profitability of our agricultural sector is actually very poor. So high productivity, but poor profitability. And nowhere is this more evident, I guess, than in an industry like the sugarcane industry. So you take and I guess I want to sort of put the proposition to you that really we need to move on from those primary agricultural commodities and start thinking about what other products we can make from agriculture. And if you take sugarcane, for instance, our farmers put all this effort into growing sugarcane. The value in sugarcane, though, is in the sugar product, the juice from which you get sugar, which is about 30% of the dry weight of the crop. So there's, and that 30% of the crop produces over 95% of the revenue. So the opportunity in sugar, for instance, is to value add to the 2/3 of the crop that is currently not high value. So what we're working on here at QUT is how do we transition our agricultural industries from single product commodity industries to multi-product biorefinery industries. And this is a sector worth chasing. The bio-based products market is growing at a combined annual growth rate of over 16%. I mean, that's a tremendous opportunity in anyone's language. And the opportunity is that by 2025, that market will be worth around $1.4 trillion. And it's growing very rapidly, and it's growing in sectors and in regions that are very close to us. So last year we did a study, in fact we funded a study by Deloitte Access Economics and Corelli Consulting to look at the opportunity for tropical biorefineries in Queensland. And we found that in Queensland alone, the opportunities were that a tropical biorefinery industry could create over $1.8 billion in additional GDP for the state and create over 6,500 full-time jobs in regional and rural communities. And of course, the opportunities across Australia would be much, much greater than that. Let me just give one example of what the bioproducts industry is about. So we all know the company Coca-Cola, one of the most recognisable brands on the planet. As a company, they serve over 1 billion servings a day globally, and 56% of those servings are actually in what we know as PET bottles. So these sort of plastic clear bottles that we all know and love. 56% of Coca-Cola servings are in those bottles. Now, those bottles have traditionally all been made from fossil-based petrochemical resources. But consumers are becoming much more discerning, and they're wanting their packaging and they're wanting their products to be as sustainable as possible. So what Coca-Cola has done is developed the plant bottle technology. That plant bottle currently uses about 30% of the chemicals used to make that bottle come now from bio-based resources. Coca-Cola are currently developing the technology to actually manufacture a whole PET bottle from plant-based resources. But there's still one technical challenge to go. But you can see up there on the slide, by 2020, all of the Coca-Cola PET bottles will be using plant bottle technology. And it's not just Coca-Cola leading this challenge. What we're seeing is other big retail firms, the Procter & Gamble's, the Johnson & Johnson's, Danone, all of these companies are looking at how they can make their packaging as sustainable as possible. And here is an opportunity for us. Now, today is about industry and research collaboration. So I want to give you a picture of one of the things that we're doing here at QUT around how we build research industry collaboration in this space. And it's a project that we call the Profitable Future for Australian Agriculture. And what we've done is we've banded together with 4 research development corporations, 2 industry partners, a medium-sized enterprise with about 200 employees and a small SME company, and with a couple of other research organisations. And we're looking at how we can develop new products from Australian agriculture. The project is funded partly by Sugar Research Australia, who are actually the lead agency on the project, but also through the Rural R&D for Profit program, which is funded by the Department of Agriculture, $100 million over 4 or 5 years, to actually build this collaboration, not only between universities, but also very importantly between the RDCs as well. And it's interesting to see actually that this program is actually building collaboration between RDCs, which has actually been extremely beneficial. So what are we looking at? Well, we're working with 4 of the RDCs, working with Australian Pork Limited, Cotton Research and Development Corporation, Sugar Research Australia, and the Forest and Wood Products Association, Forest and Wood Products Australia, to build a suite of new products based upon wastes from their process. So for instance, we're looking at how we create more valuable animal feeds. So we've talked a bit already today about the need for more food over the years. So we're looking at how we actually transition some of those waste products from our agricultural industries into higher value, more effective animal feeds that contribute better profitability and better weight gain to animals. We're looking at how we create chemicals from cotton. Cotton is a unique agricultural feedstock for producing high purity chemicals. And so we're looking at particularly pharmaceutical chemicals and also some industrial chemicals from cotton residues. We're looking at producing advanced biofuels. So we all know about ethanol, but in Australia there are some really good opportunities in things like aviation fuels, military and strategic fuels. And so we're working with some of the RDCs and working with an Australian company called Southern Oil Refining to actually find a way that we can actually bring these aviation fuels to market. And very importantly, and we just heard Mariana talking about the need for consideration of organisational capacity and firm capacity to adopt innovation. And we're actually, as part of this program, not just working on the technology, but also working very much on understanding some of those aspects as well. How do we understand the capacity, the firm capacity, the organisational capacity of our organisations to adopt these sorts of changes, and how do we build that capacity in some of the firms that we're working with? But of course, that's, this program is only a snapshot of the broader opportunity for Australian agriculture. Across that spectrum of products, from health and wellness products, new food products that we've just heard talked about, fibre composites, bioproducts, bioplastics, there's a lot of other opportunities, there's a lot of other waste, there's a lot of other sectors in Australia. We think this is a particular opportunity for the Australian agricultural industry. It takes us beyond that reliance on single product commodities. We start to break down the challenges we have with protected global markets, with high shipping costs, with our high labour costs, and we start to create more value. And so that's the opportunity that we're very excited about and happy to work with companies in Australia on. Thank you very much.